Hey everybody, Decent Eddie here. It is Friday, September 5th, 2025. Thursday night was a great way to start the NFL season for 2025. Dallas looked like they came to play. There was some surprising in-game antics, and there was a weather delay. It was like a trifecta of unpredictability. Hey, really quick. It would be amazing if you gave a like, left a comment, hit the bell, so that way you can get my picks in time to do your own research. And you should always do your own research. These first couple weeks, I'll be doing all these 100% on the house. But starting in week 3, when we have some data, I'll be giving a few picks here, but my comprehensive picks are going to go on my Patreon first. It'll be cheap, $4, no big deal. And then after that week's over, post them here, so that way you can check my homework. With all that said, let's get into Sunday's and Monday's game for week 1. 2025. Probably going to be a little messy still with the zero reliable data that we got for this year, but that just amps up the fun, I guess, right? Yeah. Anyway, our first game is going to be an NFC East showdown with the New York Giants facing the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are 5.5-point favorites with a win probability of 73% by the books. My model has a massive 19.333 differential favoring Washington on the money line. Now that makes this a decent Eddie provisional confident money line pick for the Commanders. The over-under right now is 45.5 points. Looking at the spread, a key factor is the market movement. The line opened at Commanders at 7.5 and has trickled down to 5.5 points. This fits a soft market overreaction rule, signaling a potential opportunity. The Giants' new defensive front is pretty dang good and may be able to disrupt Jaden Daniels and slow down Washington's offense in week 1. So while I am confident the Commanders are going to win this game outright, I am not confident that they'll cover the spread. Because of the historical rivalry and the line movement, I'm kind of siding with the Giants at 5.5 against the spread. It feels weird to say it, but I mean, you got to look at the market. You got to look at the numbers. This is a great example of a split bet where we will be betting on the favorite to win the money line and the underdog to cover. Now, Giants' improved defense and likely ground and pound strategy to slow the game down makes the under 45.5 points possibly smart pick. But don't forget, with this game and all the others in this video, everything carries some measure of danger because there's no real useful data this early. Next up is a matchup with the Carolina Panthers visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars right now are 3.5-point favorites with a win probability of 66% by the books. My decent Eddie differential in this game is a provisional suboptimal pick for the Jags at 5. The over-under is 46.5. My model likes the Jaguars to win outright, but this 3.5-point spread can be kind of slippery. With the suboptimal pick, we have to look closer at the matchup. This game feels like a coin flip in a way, and I'm honestly a little bit split. The Panthers feel, we don't have data, like they're headed in the right direction, and they may be able to keep this game close. Maybe. As for the total, both of these defenses were historically bad last season. With that in mind, I'm taking the over 46.5 because this is a suboptimal pick with a tricky spread. I am taking the Panthers and the points at 3.5 against the spread. For the money line, this early, I know I sound like a broken record, and with it being a suboptimal pick by my data, it's a Jaguars pick with some caution and potentially a no play, kind of depending on your appetite for risk. This game is actually kind of interesting. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the New York Jets. The Steelers are 2.5-point favorites with a market win probability of 59%. My model has the Steelers favored with a 10.2 differential. That makes this kind of on the borderline of a decent Eddie confident pick and a suboptimal pick. It drops down below 10. We're only 0.2 points away from it being suboptimal. The over-under is 37.5 points. This is kind of a revenge game, and you've got Aaron Rodgers facing the team that cut him. This early, I'm sort of split on the spread, which really is no surprise. One key thing to note is the low over-under of 37.5. This indicates kind of an expected defensive battle. Both teams have a lot of question marks on offense with new quarterbacks and coaches. I don't like question marks. With all that said, I'm going to be taking the under 37.5 points. My model likes the Steelers to win outright, and with it being kind of on the borderline between confident and suboptimal, I will take them with caution to cover the tight 2.5-point spread as well. There is no real useful data, but I think Steelers defense will be enough to win here. The next game is the Raiders traveling east to face the Patriots. The Patriots are 2.5-point favorites with a market win probability of 58%, and my decent eddy differential is a suboptimal lean towards the Patriots with a 4.366. The over-under is 43.5 points. This is a game of new eras. The Patriots have a new head coach and a second-year quarterback with Drake May, while the Raiders have their new head coach and veteran quarterback Geno Smith. There are a lot of question marks here too, which makes this game kind of tricky. One of those question marks is the Patriots defense since the offseason, and they'll be up against a Raiders offense with some pieces kind of in flux. But with the Raiders defense, you also have a concern. You got so much uncertainty, and it being week one, I'm going to follow the logic of it being a low-scoring game. Both teams have new quarterbacks and new offensive coordinators. I'm going to take the under 43.5. I'll also take the Raiders to cover at plus 2.5. It has nothing to do with my love for the Raiders. It's just kind of what I'm feeling based on what I'm reading and some bad math at this point. Both teams are still figuring things out, but a proven coach like Pete Carroll will maybe keep it close. Keep in mind, this is a suboptimal moneyline pick for the Patriots, maybe a no play this early in the season. Arizona Cardinals travels to face the New Orleans Saints. The Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites with a market win probability of 73%. My model's differential of 13 makes this a provisional, decent eddy confident moneyline pick for Arizona. The over-under is 42.5. The Saints are a fringe contender for the worst team in the league this year, and you could probably see this potential outlook coming in the offseason. The Cardinals, on the other hand, are a team that has some good potential. They kind of have an upside. They have an improved defense and the potential to be a solid playoff team. My provisional confident moneyline pick is for the Cardinals here. The spread is a bit high for a road favorite in week one. I mean, you can say the Saints have a knack for winning week one games, which makes this a little bit dangerous, I guess, but I don't usually put much stock in historical data of that variety. That said, I'm going with the Cardinals to cover the 6.5 points. As for the total, the Saints defense was bad last year, don't look good this year, but the Cardinals offense is also just getting back on track itself. I'm going to take the under 42.5 as this feels kind of like a blowout that won't have a lot of scoring on the Saints side. And I'm not sure at this point if the Saints will be able to contribute a lot, or maybe all season, who knows, we'll have to see, to any game total. Bengals visiting Browns. The Bengals are 5.5-point favorites with a market win probability of 69%. My decent eddy differential of a 19.6 makes this a provisional decent eddy confident moneyline pick for Cincinnati. The over-under is 47.5 points. While it may be normal to worry about the Bengals' notoriously slow starts, my model has a lot of confidence in them. The Browns' roster is a mess, and the Bengals' offense, with a healthy Joe Burrow, should be able to take advantage. The Bengals have also vowed to fix their slow starts, which makes me trust them a little bit, and, at least in this game. And the Browns' defense will struggle to contain the Bengals' offense. This is why I'm taking the over 47.5. And with the overwhelming confidence of my model and most of the experts that I've read, I'm going to be taking the Bengals to cover the 5.5 points. They really should just roll over them here. And if I wasn't clear, Bengals on the money line, okay? Dolphins and the Colts. The Colts are 1.5-point favorites with the money line at minus 108 for both teams. This implies a near 50-50 win probability for either side. My decent eddy differential is a dangerously low 2.699, so this is a true danger pick on the money line, barely favoring Dolphins. The over-under is 46.5 points. My opinion is split here, which isn't surprising given the tight spread. The Dolphins have the offensive firepower and a strong defense, while the Colts are an emotional team playing at home against the backdrop of their passing former owner. The Colts have Daniel Jones as their new quarterback, who brings a lot of question marks, and you know my feeling on question marks. Since my model has no confidence in this one, this is where we need to look at the teams themselves. With the explosive offenses and the Colts defense that has some holes in it, I'm going to be taking the over 46.5. As for the spread, I'll take the Dolphins to cover the 1.5 points. The Dolphins simply have more talent. That's how I see it. Given my data's danger number on this game, I'm going to be saying that the money line should be a no play here for you folks. Unless you just want risk. Next game, divisional showdown between Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. The Buccaneers are 1.5-point favorites with a market win probability of about 57%. My decent Eddie differential is a provisional 10.467 for a decent Eddie provisional confident pick, favoring Tampa Bay on the money line. The over-under is 47.5 points. Many are pointing to the Falcons' 2-game sweep last year and their new starting quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. He did show flashes of brilliance last year and is a dynamic threat with that arm. However, Baker Mayfield has a strong connection with Mike Evans and an offense that continues to put up big numbers. Given that my model has provisional confidence in the Buccaneers and the over-under is high, I'm going to be taking the Buccaneers to cover the 1.5 points and the over of 47.5 points in this game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring back-and-forth game. But, Mayfield and Evans, veteran savvy, will give them the edge in the end. I'm taking Buccaneers on the money line. Our next game is the Titans versus the Broncos. The Broncos are 8.5-point favorites with an 82% market win probability, and my decent Eddie confident pick is 19.333. It's almost as high as you can get. The over-under is 42.5 points. This is a complete mismatch on paper, and it shows in the picks. Everybody and their ancestors are going to be taking the Broncos, and for good reason. The Titans they've got a rookie quarterback. All right, Cam Ward making his first start against one of the best defenses in the league at a really hard place to play. Mile High Stadium is a mess. It's a mess in a good way for Denver. And you know why. Preseason is really no test for people. I get that, but he didn't look great. The Titans' defense was also pretty terrible against the run last year, which plays right into the hands of the Broncos' offense. They love to run the ball. I'm taking the Broncos to cover the 8.5 points, and I'm also taking the under 42.5. The Broncos' defense will have a field day, and while their offense will score, I don't believe the Titans' offensive output is going to be enough to really contribute to a score here. So I'm going to be taking Denver to cover. I'm taking the Broncos on the money line, and like I said, under 42.5. San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. The 49ers are 2.5-point favorites with a market win probability of 60%. My decent Eddie differential is a provisional suboptimal money line pick favoring the 49ers at a 5.733. The over-under is 43.5 points. This is a slippery game, guys. The Seahawks have a stout defense and home field advantage, while the 49ers are hoping that their healthy stars will be enough to get them back on track. The 49ers had a horrid run defense last year, and it's a huge red flag against the Seattle's team with a strong running game and an unpredictable quarterback. Given that my model has lower confidence in the money line, the smartest play may be to look at the total. With the offenses having the ability to score and the 49ers' questionable run defense, I'm going to go with the over 43.5. As for the spread, I'll take the home underdog and a running game that will chew up the 49ers' defense, in my opinion. Give me the Seahawks to cover that 2.5. I don't recommend taking the money line. Even with my number favoring the 49ers, it is not a confident number. Next game is one of my favorite matchups on the weekend. Lions versus Packers. The Packers are 2.5-point favorites with a market win probability of 57%, but my decent Eddie differential is a danger 2.733 favoring the Lions on the money line. The over-under is set at 47.5 points. The betting world is split on this game. It makes sense, as the Lions have been a superior team on paper for a little while now. They swept the series last year and have a healthy Aiden Hutchinson. The Packers made a huge trade for Micah Parsons, but sad trombone sounds. He's dealing with a back injury, and he might be limited in this game. Might be. With my model screaming danger on the money line and the world divided on the spread, I'd recommend staying away from it. Instead, I'd recommend sticking with the over-under here if you're being cautious, and you probably should be. With both offenses having potential to be explosive and the teams scoring over 50 points in 3 of their last 4 meetings, I'm taking the over 47.5. And as a final pick, despite my model's hesitation, I personally am going with the Lions' recent dominance. Give me the Lions to cover 2.5 against the spread. And remember, the money line for me on my data is dangerous, and I really recommended no play on the money line here. Texans versus Rams. The Rams are 3-point favorites with a 61% market win probability, and the over-under is 43.5 points. My decent Eddie differential is a dangerously low 3.334, which is a danger pick on the money line. Provisional, but still dangerous. This game is a headache, guys. The biggest factor here is the health of Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, who has a history of back issues. If he's healthy, the Rams have a dangerous new weapon with Devontae Adams to go along with the scary offensive line. However, the Texans do have C.J. Stroud, who can and has put up points in a hurry. My model is screaming danger on the money line. I'd say stay away from the spread unless you are courageous too. For the faint of heart, I'd look at the over-under here as well. With the potential shootout on our hands and the high-powered offense on both sides, I'm going to be taking the over 43.5. I would, for me, take the Texans to cover that 3 points against the spread. I'm not touching the money line here, but if you want to live dangerously, my number barely favors the Rams. This is a massive Week 1 game we've got here. The Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens are 1.5 point favorites with a market win probability of 54%. The over-under is a high 50.5 points. My decent Eddie differential for this game is a provisional and dangerously thin 0.6. So this is a danger pick by definition. This is the game of the week. It's a rematch of last year's divisional round where the Bills barely came out on top, so the Ravens might be coming here for vengeance. While Buffalo does have a home field advantage, the Ravens have a healthier, more complete roster, and Lamar Jackson is arguably the best player in the league. With my model saying that it's dangerous, I'm recommending a no play on the money line. However, the over-under is attractive. Both offenses are elite, and this game is shaping up to be a high-scoring game. I'm taking the over 50.5 points. As for the spread, I'll take the Ravens at -1.5 against the spread against the Bills here, just for revenge. The final game for the week is the Monday Night Football game. We got Monday Night Football. It's always the best, right? We got NFC North rivals, the Vikings and the Bears. The Vikings are 1.5 point favorites with a win probability of 54%. The over-under is 43.5 points. My decent Eddie differential is a provisional suboptimal moneyline pick of 5.666 favoring the Vikings. This game is all about the quarterbacks. The Vikings are handing the keys over to J.J. McCarthy in his first ever start, while the Bears are counting on second-year quarterback Caleb Williams to take a big leap with the new coach, Ben Johnson. My model shows low confidence on the money line. I recommend staying away from the favorite. Instead, take a hard look at the total. The Bears' offense was one of the worst last year, and the Vikings' defense was pretty solid. With so many unknowns, I'm taking the under 43.5 points. And to finish it off, I'm siding with the home underdog. Give me the Bears to cover the 1.5 point spread. Again, I consider this game's money line a no play, even though my number is favoring the Vikings. It's week 1. It's spooky. And that's it, friends. Parlays. I'm going to say it again. Until I see more game data, I'm not about doing game outcomes or parlays or player prop parlays or whatever. If you want to, I'll always endorse up to a 3-leg parlay with odds between -400 and -450. If you do that, your odds are going to stay at or above 50% win probability. Regardless of what you choose, I never recommend more than a 3-leg parlay due to the risks of combined probabilities. And remember, don't spend more than 10% of your bankroll in total across all your wagers in a day. Never chase losses, and if you need help with a gambling problem, please check out my channel's description. Also, do your own research too. Don't trust anything that I say or what anybody else says out there on faith alone. All right? Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Hey, if you found this helpful, it would be awesome if you hit like, subscribe, tap the bell, get my picks before kickoff, before the games. Follow me at Decent Eddie Picks on Instagram. You can see me on Facebook, X, at Decent Eddie Picks, spelled P-I-X. You can see me on TikTok. I'll post some team updated grades there if I do them. I will do them, but just not right now. Any last minute thoughts that I have, some thoughts during the game if I have them, like last night. But let's see what happens, guys. This is Decent Eddie signing off. It's week 1, baby. Have an awesome day.